Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching PHTV4 Spotlight. Today's Spotlight is on the Robotics Club at Chicago Christian High School in Palos Heights. They have had an incredible season, and the Robo Knights are headed towards the state championship, state finals, coming up in about a week and a half or so. And so we're going to get a quick recap of the season. On my right, we've got their head coach, Ryan Verver. On my left, we've got a couple of the Robo Knights. We've got Josiah and Kalia, and they're going to talk to us about their robot and what it can do here. Before we get there, Ryan, can you talk, how long have you been at Chicago Christian? What do you teach? And how about how long you've been sponsoring the club?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been at Chicago Christian High School for 3 years, but I taught before at the Southwest Tinley Park campus for 20 years out in Tinley Park. And for 3 years in between there, I worked at Bradley Bourbonnais High School. That's where I kind of picked up the robotics program. So this is my 6th year doing robotics. I started the program here 3 years ago.
Okay, congratulations. It's nice that you got that experience and now you're able to translate it to here. And I'm guessing you had a really good experience because you're doing incredible things here. Can you talk about, so this club is pretty young, and yet to be advancing at this point seems like an amazing achievement to me. Can you talk about that road a little bit?
Yeah, it really is surreal because it's only our 3rd year, and our first year nobody had experience other than me, I guess, as the coach. So even though I had some juniors and seniors on the team the first year, they had never done robotics. So for even our seniors and juniors on the team this year to only have 3 years of experience, it's pretty incredible that they were able to do as well as they did. We've been a top team from the start. We won all 5 of our matches in our first meet. We were the #1 seed in our sub league for the entire season, and ended the 2nd seed in the conference tournament, which ended up getting us our state berth. So they really have been good from start to finish.
Congratulations. It sounds like an amazing season. Let me turn to you two for just a second. And now so it really is a team concept. They have different roles in it, right? Let me ask that first, and then maybe you can fill out like the whole team concept part of it. Josiah, what role did you have in this robotics product?
Yeah, I do the CAD, which is the 3D modeling and design. So I worked on a lot of the arm part, which you can see is all 3D printed. And then I also helped just put the thing together, which is obviously a pretty integral part of it.
Okay, so you were involved in the design away from it. You created the design and then began to get the pieces to create the design generally. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then Kalia, what's your role in the product?
So I'm the director of Outreach and Awards. So my job primarily consists of putting together the portfolios, going on school visits, and just like the public relations within our team.
Okay, so it sounds like, you're a little bit of overseeing the whole project. Is that part of, or go ahead?
So I do have to know a little bit about everything because I do interact with the other teams, but I'm not really involved in more of like the building and the coding of it. That's more of people like Josiah. So I'm just I'm there to put a nice presentation together and just make sure that our team looks good when we go out into the community.
Okay, thank you, because you got to the point I wanted to get to. So a robot's created, but their team members have a variety of roles, and it sounds like Kalia has that critical role of presenting the product, it kind of almost being the face of the club at that point. But you have somebody like Josiah who's designing it. Can you talk about the other pieces in the puzzle here?
Yeah, so the other 2 main ones are the coders or the controls. So those are the people, once Josiah's done building it, someone needs to make sure it's coded so that it does all the stuff, make sure the motors go the amount that they need to, the servos open or close like they should. So there's a whole coding piece. And that's what we were very strong at this year because we could do very well in the autonomous part, which is where the robot drives all by itself. All they do is hit a button, the robot drives, they're not driving it with a controller, everything is pre-planned. And then the other team really is our scouting team, our strategy and scouting team. So those are the guys that go out and look at what other teams are doing, get ideas from them, see what teams are strong, see who we might be matched up with so that we can get some data before the competitions. Because for each one of these competitions, you're always working with one person as your partner, and then you're going against 2 teams as your opponents. The cool thing is that the team that's your opponent in the first match might be your partner later on. So you want everyone to do well there. So scouting is an important important part of that.
Okay, and everybody's engaged in it, then all the schools to some degree, yes?
Yeah, so it really is like different than like a football team or something where you game plan all week to try to just beat one team. Here, there's 20 teams in the tournament, and you don't know who's going to be on your team or who's going to be against you. So you want to know both how you complement with them, and also like if you were to go against them, what strategy would be the best to try to outscore them.
Right. Let's say it has a competitive but a collaborative quality to it as well.
Yeah, the word they use is cooperation. So they made up their own word, cooperation and competition together.
I like it. Let's get put on a T-shirt. Cooperation. All right. So, Josiah, can you talk to us then about, the challenges in designing something like this and the process of putting it together?
Yeah, so I'd say it's a very iterative process. So especially with the arm here, it looks completely different than it did at the start of the season. It's been totally redesigned, and that's, I think, a big part of what robotics is. It's that iterative design process where you start with one thing and then it evolves throughout the season and becomes what it is.
Okay. So you have the model, you design the model, you make it, but then you're probably going to have to tweak it or adjust it to make sure it can do all they can do. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations on that. I mean, that seems like an amazing, that you've got it to this point, obviously, and headed to state with it. Maybe, Clea, can you talk about the competitions that your team faced a little bit this year and what it was like putting it through the paces and how you guys did?
Yeah, so every competition is a little bit different because we always end up with a different matchup and who we're competing with. So a typical competition, we'd get there around 7:30, and we would set up our pits. We start talking to other teams. Around 9 a.m., they start having a drivers meeting, and then we continue on into the matches where we start collaborating with those other teams to go through the day. And then usually it's over, or if we're at our state qualifier meet, we have alliance selections, which then leads to the playoff rounds, and then awards.
All right. That sounds like a full day. All right. Can you tell us, Josiah, do you want to tell us what it can do? What are the different functions it has?
Yeah, so right now we have the arm, which is able to go down and grab the blocks or samples. And then also this whole part, it's hard to do from back here, but this whole part lifts up so it's able to deposit the samples into baskets, which is how we score points. And that's the main functionality. I mean, obviously also it rolls and moves, but that's the main functionality of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that rundown. How about if we turn away from this for just a second? I want to ask, and I'll ask both of you, do you do any other clubs or sports or activities at Chicago Christian?
Yeah, I'm involved in quite a lot. I'm in varsity soccer. I was going to run track, but injuries kind of stopped that. But I'm also in ACES, which is an academic testing club, as well as National Honor Society.
Wow. Okay, so you got a full boat going on, and you go to school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Clea, how about you? Are you involved in anything else?
Yes, so I'm involved in theater, DECA, student council, discipleship. I think that's it. And track too.
I like that you're saying that's it, because it's quite a bit. So are you involved in the spring play that's coming up?
I was, but unfortunately I'm not able to do that because I did make DECA State this year too.
All right, I was going to say, I have a hard time imagining those things not coming into like conflict with each other time-wise, but I'm glad you're able to do all those things. That's wonderful. How about favorite subject in school?
I love math. It's a big part of what I enjoy in school. Is definitely I enjoy that process of just going through and learning like how things work and what makes things work.
I would imagine it's got to be related to this a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Okay, Clea, how about your favorite subject?
I really like chemistry. I really enjoy the labs that we get to do, as well as like just lighting stuff on fire. It's just so fun.
Okay, cool. You scare me a little bit with lighting stuff on fire part, but in a lab, okay, I get it. It's part of the process and for some experiments. How about, I know you're both underclassmen, junior, right, sophomore, but do you think post-high school yet, like what that might look like for you?
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on going to a 4-year college, probably in mechanical engineering.
Okay, I was going to do I'm going to read your mind. He's thinking engineering, maybe mechanical. How about you, Clea? What about you?
So I want to go to Palm Beach Atlantic for college, and I want to major in marketing administration.
Wow, so you're getting some of that practice right now, the marketing administration part with Robotics. Awesome, good for you. All right, how about, I want to give you a situation. I think, Clea, you're going to take this one. Coach, you're going to take this one. I want you to pretend that you get to design the competition for the national competition. like what the robot needs to do or what the competition would look like, what the requirements would be. Coach, you want to take it first. What would you challenge would you put to the teams?
Yeah, something I'd like to see, because we haven't seen it in the last 3 years, is some sort of a shooting challenge. Most of the challenges have been grabbing something and lifting them up. So I'd like to see where they have to grab something off the ground and then actually make it airborne, maybe knock off a target or put it in a thing or something like that. I think that would be fun. I like the way First Robotics is set up with the, working together with teams and that sort of stuff. So I'd want the same sort of way where you have a partner and then later on they might be your, opponent. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more put on the seating rather than just random draw, so that if you're doing very well, maybe you're seated with some other people that are doing well. Because sometimes the frustrating part is you go out there and you're a really good robot and the partner that you have is really struggling that day. It can really pull down your, record, even though you're a pretty strong team. So I'd love to see some sort of, difference in scoring there. But yeah, I would keep everything else the same as far as, presentations and all that sort of stuff is just really good.
Okay, no, it sounds like, and the seating thing makes sense. I get that. But you're right. How about projectile stuff, right? And stuff. Yeah. Kalia, how about you? Would you change the product in any way?
Personally, every time I tell somebody that I'm in robotics, the first thing they think about is BattleBots. So what I would like to do is like FTC BattleBots. Like we build mini BattleBots. I know it's gonna be like a lot of money, but we just build BattleBots about this size. We could maybe have some flamethrowers, hydraulics in there. Just an absolutely insane competition for FTC, because I feel like that would be so entertaining to see.
As a media person, I see the value in it for sure. I don't know, as a teacher or a coach, I'd want, especially when you talk about the expenses in it, yeah, I could see where that would be fun. I would be concerned about it. But I hope you both get to live those out at some point, that we see projectiles and, maybe some, as a generation of the Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Right,
Yeah, we're partway there, a souped up version of it. All right. Final question for all three of you. What I'd like to know is, what do you like best about being part of the robotics, being a Robo Night or being the sponsor for the Robo Nights? Coach, you want to take it first?
Sure. Yeah, what I like best, I think I said this last year too, is just that it is student-led. It really is student-led. Like I sit at my computer, I help them however I can, I do some fundraising, I order parts for them, but really at the end of the day, they're putting this thing together, they're coming up with decisions. I could walk out of the classroom for 2 hours and they would be able to do this without me. We run a summer camp every summer here for 4 days, and I really sometimes feel guilty because they're doing all the work and I'm just kind of sitting there. But it's just really a great thing for me to be. I coached basketball for 20 years, and when you coach that, like you're blowing the whistle, you're in every second, you're directing everything just because of kind of the nature of that game. This is just so nice to be like, hey, they're coming up with everything. They're so successful. We went to our Tinley Park campus today to do a little presentation for them, and I told the whole group, I said, I did not qualify for state. These guys qualified for state. I just get to go along. So, that just is really rewarding and just really cool.
I congratulations on that, and I really appreciate your humility, your sense of humbleness about it. Obviously, you're doing something right. If it's a third-year program, the kids are getting a state, so congratulations. But definitely, I appreciate what you're saying. Wonderful the environment, culture you've created so that these young people can do these incredible things. So thank you. Josiah, how about you? What do you like best about being a Robo Knight?
I think it's the community for me. So this is my first year with the team, and I've just kind of been open. I've been welcomed in with open arms, and I think that's awesome. Like, I didn't know a lot of these people too well, and they've just kind of welcomed me in, and I've made a lot of great friends, and it's been a great time for me.
Good, and I'm going to bet you're pretty happy you're a junior and you get one more crack at this, right?
Yes, I'm really looking forward to next year.
Good. Kalia, how about you? What do you like best about being a Robo Knight?
Just like Josiah said, just like the community, getting to go out and just do good things and meet other people and inspire people to challenge themselves and learn more about STEM, as well as just getting to know the team, because I'm the only girl on our varsity team this year, and just getting to know these guys who I really just would not usually talk to, and getting to really learn more about them. It's just been really interesting for the past 2 years. So really excited for the next season.
Good. Another one, yeah, you get to come back and enjoy some more. And I get the way you've all described it, there's a community quality to it. I don't know if I can say that word again, the cooperation. Yeah. That word, whatever that word was, it's competitive, and yet there's a cooperation element to it. And you're working with other schools and obviously, your classmates as well. Well, again, congratulations on your season. All right. Good luck at state. I wish you all the best, and obviously looking forward to the future of the Robo Knights. I'm Dave Wurzlow. You've been watching PHTV4 Spotlight. Today's Spotlight has been on the Robo Club at Chicago Christian High School. We've been talking with Robo Knights Kalia Josiah and their coach, Ryan Verver. Thank you for watching.